A handmaiden bursts into the throne room, terror seizing her voice. Mariam, the Sultana, remains composed, yet her face pales at the horrifying news. Sultana! His Majesty has been martyred in battle. They've tied his severed head to a sword and are marching into the city. They're looting everything. Mariam rushes toward the arched window, her face etched with worry as distant screams echo through the city. The maiden cries out, "Malika! The royal ministers are planning to flee. Some are even willing to bow before the enemy." Mariam stands, fighting back her fear. She exudes a regal aura, though anxiety is etched on her face. Silence. Do not lose your composure. The Tatars are our allies, Mariam commands, her voice ringing with authority. Send word to Tatar. Tell them we need soldiers urgently, she orders, her plea laced with desperation. A servant stumbles back into the chamber, consumed by terror. Malika, there is no help coming. The Tatars, they have abandoned us. Mariam's voice cuts through the fear. Calm yourselves. Do not behave like cowards. Where is Shehzada Nasir? Mariam arrives at Prince Nasir's palace, stepping into a scene of impending conflict. The air crackles with tension as she finds Prince Nasir, still just a boy, preparing for battle in full armor. Mariam's voice cuts through the heavy atmosphere. What are you doing? In the palace, Nasir stands tall, his face etched with determination. Mariam's eyes reflect a desperate plea as Nasir declares, Mother, the enemy has infiltrated Esfain. It is my duty to protect its people. Mariam's voice cracks with desperation. Your first duty as Sultan is to stay alive. You must survive. Come with me. Mariam urgently pulls Nasir through the grand palace halls, their footsteps echoing. She guides him towards a hidden doorway, barely visible amidst the intricate carvings. Go, Nasir. Don't worry about us. It is a subject's duty to protect their Sultan. We are doing ours. Tears stream down Mariam's face as she kisses Nasir's forehead, a tender farewell in the dim passage. Remember this. You must return, Mariam whispers, her voice thick with emotion. The throne is yours, Nasir. You must bathe in the blood of the last of Malek Shah's line. Mariam gently pushes Nasir towards the dark tunnel, an uncertain path to a certain future. The iron gates of the palace buckle under the assault, the sounds of battle echoing through the city. Esfain becomes a maelstrom of destruction, buildings engulfed in flames and the streets painted with blood. As the sun descends, the Khortain Empire crumbles, its legacy fading into the long shadows of the fallen city. The capital city of Tabriz pulsates with life as the Mehmed Empire celebrates its golden jubilee. Royal guests arrive from all corners of the empire, their presence amplifying the festive atmosphere. Victorious princes return, hailed as heroes amidst cheering crowds. Prince Umar Shah, beloved by the people, leads with a confident smile. Prince Abu Said, supported by Queen Tabia, follows, his expression unreadable. In the opulent chamber, Prince Erhan stands nearly naked, draped only in a white cloth. A naked woman lies bleeding on the floor, a stark contrast to the rich surroundings. Hud stands by uncomfortably, averting his gaze from the gruesome scene. In his chamber, Prince Erhan sits, his face a chilling blend of fury and calculation. Hud trembles before the prince, hands twisting in nervous anticipation. Hud stammers, "My lord." She belongs to Queen Tabia's household. Erhan coldly commands, "Send her severed head to Malika, sealed in a golden box. Include a warning." Erhan lifts a sword, the cold steel glinting ominously in the dim light. With brutal speed, Erhan slashes through the woman. His voice ringing with cold calculation, Erhan declares, "Now spread the news across the palace. Princess Gulnahar, fourth wife of Prince Erhan Ali Shah, has been killed by assassins." News of Gulnahar's death casts a pall over Tabriz Palace, its opulent chambers now echoing with sorrow. Erhan stands in the Sultan's chamber, grief etched on his face as he recounts the night's events. They entered through the balcony. Gulnahar didn't realize it until the last moment. She stood before me, took the blow meant for me. Tabia listens, her expression hardening with each word. The traitor is inside the palace. Inside the Sultan's lavish chamber, sunlight paints the room with gold. Umar speaks with a calm voice. "It's best to delay the investigation until after the festival. Let's keep Gulnahar's death a secret for now." The Khortain flag whips in the wind, a symbol of a nation soon to fall. A symbol of freedom is torn down, and the black banner of the Mehmed Empire rises. Queen Tabia strides through the palace corridor, her mind consumed by worry. She halts, her gaze sharp as she demands, "Where is Prince Iron?" Hud hesitates, his eyes darting nervously. Tabia observes Hud, her gaze sharp and assessing. Hud says, "He is in his private chambers, Your Majesty." Tabia's eyes narrow with suspicion. Tabia bursts into Irhan's chambers, disrupting the morning calm. Irhan is cleaning a sword, the metallic glint reflecting off the blade. Dark stains mar the floor, hinting at a recent struggle. Tabia confronts Irhan, her eyes burning with accusation, shattering the palace's tranquility. The silence screams as Tabia accuses, "Gulnahar's death was no accident, was it? You killed her." Irhan meets her fiery gaze with a chilling smirk, confirming her darkest fears. Tabia confronts Irhan, her words laced with a palpable threat. Irhan remains seated on his throne, a smirk playing on his lips. "Your actions will have consequences, Irhan." Irhan remains unmoved, radiating an aura of unwavering confidence. In the dimly lit chamber, Abu Sa'id and Tabia sit closely, their faces etched with worry. Abu Sa'id's voice fills the room. Irhan's cruelty knows no bounds. Every day, he tightens his grip, making our position more precarious. Tabia leans in, her voice laced with urgency. "He suspects us, Abu Sa'id. I can see it in his eyes. We must act decisively if we are to secure our future." Abu Sa'id nods, his expression hardening. "I agree. The threat he poses is too great to ignore. We need a plan, Tabia, a plan that ensures our success." Inside Abu Sa'id's chambers, opulent carpets adorn the floor, setting the stage for a clandestine gathering. Tabia and Abu Sa'id huddle together, their faces cast in a conspiratorial glow as shadows dance on the walls. In hushed tones, they lay plans and discuss strategies, plotting to undermine Irhan and secure Abu Sa'id's ascent as the Sultan's heir. In the dim alleys of Tabriz, shadows lengthen as assassins hunt Irhan. In the bustling streets of Tabriz, assassins initiate a brutal assault on Irhan. Though outnumbered, Irhan retaliates with deadly precision, his movements a whirlwind of lethal skill. Hud arrives in a whirlwind, launching himself into the chaos to aid Irhan. Steel clashes as Hud and Irhan stand back to back, locked in a desperate dance for survival. They break free, narrowly escaping the deadly encirclement, but Irhan stumbles, a crimson stain blooming. Irhan lies wounded, his pale face reflecting the dim light of the chambers. Hud, with deep concern etched on his face, tends to Irhan's wounds. Irhan whispers, his voice weak, "Tabia, she was behind this." Inside the opulent chamber, Irhan is consumed by fury, his fists clenched. His eyes burn with a thirst for retribution against Tabia and Abu Sa'id. He paces the chamber, his mind a whirlwind of vengeful thoughts. He begins to formulate a plan, a strategy to dismantle his enemies. Umar strides into Irhan's chambers, his face a mask of worry as he scans the room. His voice resonating with empathy. Umar says, "Irhan, I am concerned for your safety." Umar extends an offer of unwavering support. "Please know that I am here to offer my support in any way you need." Irhan stands before Umar, his intense gaze piercing through the air. He circles Umar, his hands clasped behind his back, the silence heavy with suspicion. "Umar, tell me, what are your ambitions in this court?" In the heart of the palace, Umar stands defiant, proclaiming his innocence with unwavering conviction. "I swear, Irhan, I had nothing to do with it. My loyalty is to you and you alone," Umar pleads, his voice resonating with desperate sincerity. Irhan's gaze remains fixed, a silent storm of doubt brewing beneath the surface. "Loyalty is a word easily spoken, Umar. Actions are what truly matter," Irhan retorts, his words heavy with suspicion. Inside the Sultan's chambers, sunlight dapples the room as the Sultan sits on his ornate throne. A hushed silence hangs heavy as the Sultan gathers his strength to speak. With a voice tinged with finality, he declares, "I intend to name my successor soon." In the Sultan's chambers, Tabia and Irhan stand poised, their determination palpable as they vie for the Sultan's favor. Irhan stands on the opposite side, his expression mirroring Tabia's resolve. The air thickens with unspoken tension as they subtly maneuver to present their sons as the worthier heir. In the city square of Tabriz, a grand tournament unfolds. The air crackles with anticipation as the princes prepare to demonstrate their valor. In the heart of Tabriz, Irhan and Abu Said lock eyes, their fierce competition igniting the city square. Each contestant is determined to surpass the other in the tournament. The crowd watches, their breath held in anticipation. In the heart of Tabriz, Umar stands tall in the city square, his powerful voice commanding attention. His charismatic speech resonates deeply, influencing the visiting dignitaries, who nod in agreement. Umar skillfully navigates diplomatic complexities, capturing the favor of everyone present. In the dimly lit library of Tabriz Palace, Irhan hunches over ancient texts, the candlelight dancing across the aged pages. He discovers a hidden compartment within a bookshelf, revealing a secret document. As Irhan reads of Tabia's past betrayals and plot, his eyes widen, disbelief etched across his face. Irhan clutches the document tightly, the weight of Tabia's treachery heavy in his grasp. In the grand library of Tabriz Palace, Irhan stands, his anger barely contained as he confronts Tabia, document in hand. Tabia meets Irhan's accusing stare, her regal composure faltering slightly as he demands, "This document speaks volumes, Tabia. Explain yourself." Tabia retorts, her voice sharp with denial. "These are lies, Irhan, fabrications meant to tear us apart." Irhan's voice drops, heavy with disappointment, as he struggles to reconcile truth and betrayal. "I wish I could believe you, Tabia, but the evidence is overwhelming. I am not convinced." The library's silent walls bear witness as Irhan and Tabia confront each other, their anger palpable. Irhan's voice rises, the threat hanging heavy in the air. "I will expose you to the Sultan, Tabia." Irhan stands before the Sultan, his grim expression foreshadowing grave news. He presents the document, a parchment that reveals Tabia's treachery, its words stark in the dim light. The Sultan, caught off guard, reels back as if physically assaulted, his delight replaced by a mask of horror and fury. His fist crashes onto the table, a display of unchecked power that sends tremors through the room. With eyes blazing like embers, he directs a trembling finger towards the doorway, his command echoing through the chamber. His voice, initially a menacing growl, explodes into a thunderous roar. "Arrest her!" Tabia is trapped within the cold stone confines of the palace dungeon, the air heavy with despair. Her eyes burn with a fierce determination. "I vow revenge against Irhan." Bathed in sunlight, the Sultan studies Irhan, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of power. The air in the opulent chamber is thick with incense as the Sultan acknowledges Irhan's worth. "Irhan, your loyalty and cunning have proven invaluable." With a decisive declaration, the Sultan proclaims, "I hereby announce you as my successor." Irhan kneels, the royal scepter descends, marking his rise as the new Sultan. Irhan rises, regal and commanding, and faces the court. Sunlight floods the throne room as Irhan pledges, "I pledge to rule with strength and justice, upholding the traditions of our great empire and ensuring prosperity for all." Umar and Abu Said stand silently within the palace, their expressions betraying a shared apprehension. The coronation unfolds, and their resentment deepens, casting long shadows over their faces. The weight of the moment settles heavily, sealing their fate under what they foresee as Irhan's merciless rule. The city streets of Tabriz pulse with life as the people celebrate Irhan's ascension. Beneath the surface of jubilant cheers, an undercurrent of unease snakes through the crowd. The ruins of Isfahan stand desolate against the horizon, the wind carrying a faint echo. The wind whispers through the broken walls, a ghostly reminder of Maryam's promise to Nasir. A hooded figure stands in the distance, observing Tabriz with unwavering determination. Nasir returns. His eyes gleam with determination as he prepares to claim his birthright. The city gates of Tabriz are alive with merchants from distant lands, eager to join the royal festival. Heavily armed guards stand vigilant, their eyes scanning the bustling crowds. A foreign merchant arrives, his face weathered, pulling a large wooden chest that immediately draws suspicion. "Halt! What's in the chest?" the guard demands, his hand resting on his sword. At the majestic city gates of Tabriz, a stern-faced guard stands watch, his gaze unwavering. A nervous merchant arrives, pulling a large, ornate box on a cart. The guard demands, "What's in the box?" The merchant replies nervously, "A special gift for the Sultan, my lord." The guard insists, "Open it." The merchant hesitates. I hesitate to do so, citing honor. The guard's eyes sparkle upon hearing the woman's voice. He strains to see. He peeks through a small air hole and sees deep eyes staring back. He shivers. Is that a special gift for the Sultan? The towering city gate of Tabriz looms, its stones whispering tales of centuries past. A bored Gurd leans against the gate, his eyes narrowing with suspicion as he surveys the merchant and the slave girl. The guard sneers, his voice dripping with sarcasm, trying to get rich under the guise of a gift. The merchant retorts, I bought her for 2 gold coins. She belongs in the Sultan's service. Seemingly appeased, the Gord gestures, granting them passage into the city. The merchant and his group follow a staff member through the bustling caravanserai. Inside the small rooms, the assistants secure the doors, locking them from within. Dim light reveals a large, ornate box in the caravanserai room. The lid lifts, exposing Nafisa, a girl curled up tightly inside, her eyes wide with fear. The merchant's whip cracks on the floor, a violent prelude to terror. Nafisa recoils, her body tensing in anticipation of the impending blow. The whip tears across Nafisa's back, a crimson line blooming against her skin. Nafisa grits her teeth, battling through the agony as blood wells from the wound. Dim light fills the room, mingling with the heavy scent of spices and unwashed bodies. The merchant's harsh words cut through the silence. How many times have I told you keep your mouth shut? You're meant to serve the Sultan. The woman pleads desperately. Please, master, don't beat Nafisa anymore. Tomorrow is the festival. The merchant halts, his face bearing the marks of exhaustion from the whipping. Nafisa lies on the ground, her body trembling and stained with blood. Apply the Egyptian salve to her wounds and teach her how to behave. From tomorrow, she belongs to the Sultan. Another slave approaches Nafisa with empathy. Nafisa pleads, please, don't hurt me anymore. In her private chamber, Sultan Tabia sits patiently as Roxana attends to her hair amidst the sweet aroma of incense. The air is rich with exotic fragrance as Roxana delicately begins to adorn Tabia's hair with shimmering ornaments. Roxana stands beside Sultan Tabia, her face etched with concern as she watches over the silent figure. Tabia remains unresponsive, her gaze fixed on a wooden box that radiates an unseen dread. Roxana speaks softly, her voice filled with care. Would your majesty like to wear more jewelry? A visible shudder courses through Tabia's body, betraying her deepest fears. Sultan Tabia broods upon his throne, his frustration palpable. Roxana stands before him, her gaze a mixture of concern and caution. Roxana cautiously asks, is something troubling your majesty? Tabia's voice booms with anger. My plans have failed again. Irhan has survived once more. Roxana stands before Tabia, questioning her sincerity with doubt. Tabia listens, her face alternating between concern and rising impatience. Silence. Tabia silences Roxana, her eyes blazing with determination. Do you forget that Sultan Mehmed himself was once a slave son? Thrones are not ruled by popularity, Roxana. They are ruled by blood. An Irhan is willing to spill it. Sultan Tabia stands tall, her unwavering gaze reflecting the weight of her empire's fate. Her voice echoes with resolve. Our empire's army, our naval fleet of everything, is in Irhan's hands. Her eyes harden with fierce determination as she declares, I will not let anything or any stand between my son and the throne. Roxana stands in the opulent chamber of Sultan Tabia, her face reflecting deep concern. What if the Sultan gives the crown to Prince Umar? Roxana asks, her voice laced with anxiety. Tabia dismisses her worries with a chillingly calm statement. Those with short lifespans do not worry me. Prince Umar enters the chamber. Lady Nilufar completes her prayers. Lady Nilufar sits, her face etched with hope and anxiety. Umar stands before her, exuding strength. How are you, Umar? Nilufar asks. Alhamdulillah, mother. And you? Umar responds. Nilufar's anticipation rises. My son will be Sultan soon. Umar looks at Lady Nilufar, his voice filled with hope. Y'all be happy, won't you, mother? Lady Nilufar replies with certainty. Of course I will. I truly believe you are the rightful heir to the Mehmed dynasty. Umar stands before Lady Nilufar, his face etched with worry. Nilufar's jeweled hand moves slightly as she speaks coolly. Keep her in your harem, Umar. She is, after all, the daughter of a Tabayef. Umar's expression hardens as he declares, I've made a promise, mother. She is the only one I will make my queen. Lady Nilufar stands tall, her gaze unwavering, a storm of determination brewing within. You are bound only to the Mehmed Empire. No individual deserves your promise. Umar emerges from his mother's chambers, stepping into the vibrant rose garden. His eyes find Hamida amidst the roses. Umar watches Hamida laughing with her companions. He is torn between giving his mother the honor she deserves and keeping the love of his life. Umar sighs, his breath heavy with unspoken thoughts, as the scent of roses fills the air. Yaqub's voice cuts through the fragrant stillness. My prince, let us go. In the dim light of her private chamber, Tabia sits alone, shadows dancing around her. Her eyes fixate on a wooden box, a sinister plan forming in her mind. Her expression hardens as the plot takes shape, her features set with cold resolve. Nafisa lies awake, her back throbbing with relentless pain. She glances at the other slave, who sleeps deeply, unaware of Nafisa's torment. Driven by an unyielding resolve, Nafisa rises, her movements betraying her desperate plan to escape. Under the cloak of night, Nafisa slips through the city's dark arteries, a ghost evading capture. Lost in the labyrinth of narrow lanes, she has no destination, only a desperate need to escape. Each step away from the merchant is a step into the unknown. Under the relentless sun, guards march, their armor reflecting the light. Nafisa cowers in the shadows, her heart a frantic drum against the silence. She strains to hear, her eyes flickering between the guards. Nafisa watches people heading towards the palace. A spark of hope ignites within her. Nafisa makes a bold choice. Amidst the bustling palace courtyard, Nafisa melts into the crowd, hoping to remain unseen. The vibrant preparations for the festival fill the air with anticipation. Amidst the lively palace kitchens, Nafisa stands with a hopeful glint in her eyes. She offers her assistance, hoping to earn the trust of the scurrying servants. In the palace kitchens, a kind servant sees Nafisa's injuries. He offers her food and water, a gesture of unexpected kindness, gratefully accepts, feeling a glimmer of hope. From her private chambers, Tabia observes the harem's bustling festival preparations. Her eyes narrow as she watches Nafisa toiling away in the kitchens. A cruel plan begins to materialize in Tabia's mind. Lady Nilufar sits in her chamber, sunlight casting a web of shadows around her. Her fingers play nervously with a jeweled pendant, betraying her inner turmoil. Fatima stands before her, a silent sentinel of calm amid the growing tension. The chamber is filled with the rich scent of roses, a stark contrast to the growing tension as Fatima anxiously paces. Fatima stops pacing to declare, "We must find a more suitable bride for Umar, someone who will strengthen the Mehmed dynasty." Bathed in the morning sun, Omar stands amidst the roses. Hamida approaches, her eyes mirroring the vibrant colors of the blooms. Umar's voice cuts through the tranquility. "I need to tell you about my mother's concerns. I promised her I would make you my queen." In the rose garden, Hamida is moved by Umar's devotion, her heart stirred by his unwavering loyalty. Yet, as Umar speaks, a shadow of worry darkens Hamida's face, her thoughts troubled by looming uncertainties. Sultan Tabia, draped in silks, holds court in her candlelit chamber. She fixes a stern gaze upon the merchant, demanding, "You brought Nafisa to the palace, did you not?" The merchant, trembling, confirms, "Yes, your majesty, as per your request." Tabia declares with steely resolve, "Nafisa will be the key to getting closer to Iran." In Sultan Tabia's opulent chamber, the merchant fidgets nervously under the weight of unspoken threats. Sultan Tabia leans forward, his gaze sharp and piercing, filling the room with tension. Nafisa steps into the palace harem, a sanctuary of beauty. Attendants cleanse Nafisa, adorning her in exquisite garments. The sheer opulence of the surroundings washes over Nafisa, leaving her breathless. Silks drape from ornate furnishings, the air filled with exotic perfumes. She is overwhelmed by the luxury, a stark contrast to her former life. Tabia approaches Nafisa in the palace harem, her expression a welcoming embrace. With a gentle hand, Tabia extends an offer of kindness to Nafisa. "I would like to offer you a position as my personal servant, Nafisa." Nafisa accepts Tabia's offer with a grateful heart. "Thank you, I accept." In the opulent chamber, Sultan Tabia, draped in silk, commands attention, her eyes sharp and penetrating. Nafisa stands nervously, her face flickering with inner turmoil under the Sultan's gaze. "Nafisa, I require your unwavering loyalty." Tabia declares, her voice echoing in the silent chamber. I need you to observe Irhan. Tabia continues, every move, every word. Report everything back to me. Nafisa remains silent, her internal conflict palpable, torn between duty and conscience. Within Prince Irhan's chambers, Nafisa stands, her enigmatic presence filling the room. Irhan, transfixed, gazes upon Nafisa. Within the candlelit chambers, Arhan and Nafisa are locked in an intense, intimate exchange. Arhan's voice, a low murmur, fills the space between the flickering candles. Nafisa's gaze remains fixed, drawn in by the raw honesty of Irhan's words. In the opulent chamber of Sultan Tabia, Nafisa stands tall, recounting her intricate dealings with Iran. Sultan Tabia listens intently, a subtle smile gracing her lips as she absorbs Nafisa's every word. I have delivered your message, and Irhan responded as you predicted, Your Majesty. Excellent. Your loyalty and cunning are invaluable, Nafisa. You have served me well. As a token of my appreciation, accept this. The Sultan's festival unfolds in a riot of color and sound, where the air dances with exotic scents. The courtyard bursts with vibrant music, energetic dancing. A lavish feast tempts the senses, promising culinary delights at every turn. The Sultan is seated on his throne, a figure of absolute authority. His wives surround him, their shimmering silks adding to the opulence. His sons stand tall, embodying pride and strength. Attentive courtiers watch, their gazes unwavering. Tabia approaches the Sultan with a gift. The Sultan is captivated by Nafisa's beauty. He takes her into his harem. In the Sultan's harem, Nafisa stands surrounded by plush cushions and ornate decorations. Jealous concubines surround her, their eyes glinting with animosity in the dim light. The air is thick with perfume and unspoken animosity as Nafisa senses the danger. In the heart of the palace harem, Nafisa stands resolute, her face reflecting the weight of the Mehmed Empire's destiny. In the heart of the rose garden, Umar and Hamida steal a moment, their love a secret whispered among the fragrant blooms. Their eyes meet, a silent promise exchanged in the sanctuary of the garden, oblivious to the shadows gathering nearby. Lost in their world, they fail to notice the danger drawing near. In the serene confines of her private chamber, Sultan Tabia masterminds a scheme. She sets in motion a series of events poised to ignite the empire. The royal court bursts with color, celebrating Sultan Malek Shah's golden jubilee. Rulers and envoys gather, their elaborate costumes shimmering in the sunlight. The air vibrates with festive energy. The royal court bursts with life, a vibrant tapestry of ministers, advisors, and nobles in their colorful robes. Sultan Malek Shah strides into the court, his presence immediately seizing the attention of all present. Flanking him, his 14 sons stand as testaments to his power and the vastness of his lineage. Artists display their skills, their performances enriching the court's opulent atmosphere. Common folk enter, bearing humble offerings, their faces mirroring awe and profound respect. The scene underscores Sultan Malek Shah's undeniable power and the empire's boundless wealth. In the heart of the royal court, a merchant shuffles forward, his footsteps barely audible on the plush carpets. He clutches a velvet-covered box, its dark fabric a stark contrast to his weathered hands. He bows deeply, his gaze fixed on the floor, and extends the box towards the Sultan with trembling hands. With a voice trembling with anticipation, he announces, Your Majesty, I present to you a modest gift, something that even the Sultan might not possess. The velvet is removed, unveiling a box. Inside the box, Nafisa, a woman of stunning beauty, sits silently. The merchant presents her. She is a slave, unmatched in beauty. The Sultan's piercing gaze remains fixed on Nafisa, a silent command hanging in the air. The Sultan breaks the silence, his voice echoing through the court. What is her name? The merchant responds, his voice trembling slightly. She is called Nafisa, Your Majesty. A decree from the throne. I am pleased. Reward this man from the royal treasury, and take the girl to the harem. Nafisa stands silently, head bowed, as the court's eyes settle upon her. Among the gazes, a pair of piercing gray eyes shines with an unreadable intensity. A voice cuts through the silence. At last, we meet. Palace maidens guide Nafisa into the opulent harem where the Sultan awaits. Gentle hands bathe Nafisa, cleansing her with fragrant oils. They dress her in flowing white silk, the fabric whispering against her skin, and adorn her with shimmering jewels. Uzma, the harem mistress, watches with a discerning eye, ensuring every detail is perfect. Nafisa's mind races, haunted by her new reality, a slave destined to entertain the Sultan. One misstep could mean death, and Nafisa is gripped by the chilling realization of her confinement. Whispers of jealousy swirl around her, but Nafisa knows this isn't fortune. It's a cruel twist of fate. Nafisa is led through the opulent harem toward the Sultan's private chamber. Arriving at the chamber, Nafisa stands before the entrance, gathering her courage. With a respectful bow, Nafisa declares, "Long live the Sultan." The Sultan sits, his eyes glazed, scarcely noticing Nafisa's presence. His command cuts through the chamber, "Take off your clothes." Nafisa stands frozen, her heart pounding in her chest. Knowing disobedience means death, Nafisa stands frozen, awaiting her fate. "May I turn around first?" Nafisa asks. Annoying. "Fine," the Sultan replies. Nafisa hesitates, then slowly lowers her gaze, numb as stone. In the Sultan's chamber, Nafisa breathes softly, the air still. The silken robe whispers as it falls from Nafisa's shoulders, a soft rustle in the silent chamber. She turns her back to the Sultan, her bare skin illuminated by the firelight. The Sultan jolts upright, his eyes widening in surprise. The Sultan's chamber erupts with fury as the Sultan's face twists in rage. He slams his fist with devastating force, shattering a goblet and unleashing chaos. His eyes lock onto the woman, her scars a brutal testament to her ordeal. The Sultan unleashes his fury. "Who dares bring me this? A scarred, defiled woman in my chamber?" Nafisa, overwhelmed by terror, frantically pulls the silken covers over herself. Her face, ghostly white, reflects her mortal fear. Is my death now certain? In a sudden flashback, a brutal scene unfolds. Nafisa suffers under the lash. The air cracks with the sound of the whip, each strike a vivid echo of past trauma. The chaos of the moment overwhelms, capturing a snapshot of enduring pain. Guards burst into the Sultan's chamber. The Sultan's face contorts with rage as he points a trembling finger at Nafisa. "Remove her from my sight," the Sultan roars.